we know some good days that we can have the volunteer trainer come by. And you can see that on Slack as well as email. All right. Then another quick update is that this Saturday, the 24th, which is also Wyoming Day, we will be putting up the visual barriers in the yard. We're also going to be fixing some of the visual barriers that we have. Very fortunate that a lot of volunteers jumped up and said that they would love to help. So I really appreciate you guys for being so helpful. We're planning on doing that from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. You'll be getting an email soon just inviting you guys out. That seemed to be the time that worked best for a lot of people. But we're going to be putting those visual barriers up on the yard for all those yards and then kind of lowering some of the other ones. That way they do cover the bottom area. That way we're kind of preventing our dogs from getting too excited when we're walking by with another dog. So it's going to be really helpful for behavior and stuff like that. But we'll be putting those up on the 24th from 11 a.m. to 12. Uh, Also Wyoming Day to help you remember. All right. Last but not least, as we're coming to the close of May, we do have our huge Pups and Pites event, and we also are working on getting that new volunteer handbook sent out before the end of the second quarter of the year. So we're working on those two big projects. But I do want to remind everyone that as we're coming to the end of May, next week we will be picking another volunteer for our Volunteer Spotlight Award for the month of May. So I will send out an email to you guys, but just make sure if there's a volunteer who has stood out, a volunteer who has done something that's really impressive that you want to shout them out for, just make sure that you go ahead and submit their name on the Volunteer Spotlight Award. We have that little form that you can fill out and you can kind of put details on why you think that they deserve the award and stuff like that. So just make sure you guys fill that out, but I'll send that out. That way you can nominate somebody. And if the person you nominate doesn't get picked this month, you can still nominate them and we will have them kind of like on our log and they could possibly get it next month or something like that. So even if it's like a lot, don't, sorry about that. That's what happens when we work at a shelter. Sorry. But so just make sure that you nominate someone for the Volunteer Spotlight Award if someone stood out to you. We'll be picking someone from the list of the submissions next week. And then last but not least, as you guys know, we are working really hard on our Pups and Pints event, which is an event that we have. It's a fundraising event for the shelter that happens at Walter Hall Park. It's going to be happening on May 31st. Of course, we will need some volunteer help and some volunteer jobs and stuff like that. We're still working on just finishing a few of the last job titles for the volunteers, but we will get those posted out to you guys before the end of the week. We will have those volunteer job positions posted. That way, you guys, if you feel like you could help, we could really use the help. We had an amazing turnout in 2023 with a lot of people going. A lot of adoptions can happen as well, even if it's not an adoption, dog day get out, dog day getaway, or a pajama party. Just giving those dogs some time away from the shelter, as well as just kind of advertising them, kind of how we do at the Makers Market. It's a real helpful thing to do. So we'll be giving out more information about our Pups and Pints event. Will be getting emailed out to you shortly. Then for those updates, that's all I have right now. Anything else will be sent in the weekend update, but we just wanted to give you guys those quick updates and things like that. If you have like any more like detailed questions and stuff, please be sure to send me an email. That way we can get that addressed and taken care of. But other than that, that's all we have for the update, and then we will see you guys for our next quick update.
Hey Leo, this is Jen. I just got a quick question.
Yeah.
Back on the mosquito spraying taking place next week, are you asking then that volunteers who come in the afternoon empty the pools and the water bowls before we head home?
So yeah, it would just only be if you're leaving. So I wouldn't say like just every single time, but like if you are leaving for the day, like in the afternoon, then of course you would empty it then. But if someone else is going to use that yard and use the pool, which happens quite frequently in the summer because it's pretty hot outside,
Yeah.
then I would just say just make sure we're kind of communicating like, hey, I have a pool open. If you just want to do that instead of filling up another pool, that way they can just use that one to keep it kind of simple. But yeah, if you're leaving for the day and it's the end of the day, please dump it. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Great. Well, if no one has anything else, I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your, what is today? Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
All right. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Mhm. Bye.
Bye.